Hello, Comsonauts. Today we are going to be exploring what Reddit asked. What's the weirdest thing you ever experienced? Answer: 1 year ago, a friend and I were driving on the highway, heading out to shop and grab some food. We found ourselves behind a pickup truck loaded with loose lumber and construction materials, bouncing around dangerously. Without exchanging a word, we glanced at each other, and he immediately switched 2 lanes over and slowed down to avoid what looked like a disaster waiting to happen. Sure enough, about a minute later, a large piece of wood flew out of the truck, landing on the highway at an angle that would have sent it straight into our windshield if we hadn't moved. Instead, it bounced across 2 lanes, and we ended up running over it anyway. We pulled over, shaken, and started processing the "holy crap, did we almost die?" moment when my phone rang. It was my wife. "Are you guys okay?" "I was napping and had a dream you were in a car accident." Answer 2. I used to have dreams as a kid where I was a dentist. The weirdest part was that they seemed to be sequential. Like one night I would dream that I was extracting a tooth from an old lady's mouth, and the dream would end as I finished the job. Then, the next dream would pick up at the old lady's next appointment, and I'd be showing her an x-ray of how it was healing. I was about 10 or 11, and this went on for several months. Not every night, but several nights a week. I called them my really boring dentist movie dreams, and my crunchy mum was sure I was dreaming about a past life. I obviously thought that was stupid, but as an avid sci-fi fan, I used to wonder whether maybe I was somehow traveling into my future life in my dreams, which is clearly no less stupid than the past lives theory, but what can I say? I was a kid. For the record, I never did become a dentist. Answer 3. I once housed at a very old manor home that was near the Mason-Dixon line. This location becomes important later in the story. Built in the mid-1700s, like a lot of houses that old it had a root cellar, the sub-basement, deep under the house that was used for food storage back in the day, and I always just got the weirdest and most foreboding feeling walking past the door leading down to it. Never actually went down there. It was a very big house that had many additions put on over the years, so it had multiple alarm systems. And one night, the alarm system in the original part of the house where the door to the root cellar was would not stop going off. I probably got out of bed 7 or 8 times to enter the code to turn it off that night. It was an older alarm system, so I figured, probably old wiring or a part going bad or something, and didn't think much of it other than being annoyed that it kept waking me up. When the family got back from vacation, I told the father about the night the alarm kept going off, and he looked very puzzled. He told me that had never happened before in the several decades they had lived there. And even weirder because it was an older alarm system, and in that part of the house, all of the alarms were motion activated. I later found out the house was right down the street from a Quaker meeting house in an area with a high Quaker population that was well known for its role in the Underground Railroad. Families in that area would routinely let people escaping slavery hide in their root cellars and sub-basements. My family is ancestrally Quaker, and the family who lived there was not. Still kind of gives me chills thinking about it. Answer 4. Dreamt about a dead person, smelled decomp rotting flesh in my sleep, woke up and was scrolling on FB and came across a news article about the exact woman I dreamed of. Turns out she was missing. I saw where she was and could hear the voices of the people that hit her. Did nothing with this info except tell some people I trust LOL, and now bring it here. Hey you, if you enjoying the video, subscribe for more histories. Answer 5. When I was a kid, we was playing about trespassing in some old shop. What had been vacant for years, it was an old pharmacy with what I would describe as antique medicine bottles lying around the place. So I thought I would open one of the medicines and smell it for some reason. Big mistake, as I took a big whiff. It completely knocked me out for a few minutes. I will never forget that one. Answer 6. I used to work at a movie theater, and one time, I turned around and some old dude came into our concession stand with his fly halfway down, asking if that area was the bathroom. He wasn't a pervert or malicious or anything. I think he may have had dementia and wandered off. His wife finally found him and we guided him to the real bathroom. Answer 7. A very long time ago when I was a child, my siblings and I went to my sister's house to look after it because she was going out somewhere. The house wasn't very big, just 2 rooms and one more room that connected an entrance door and the other's rooms. It was a creepy house and stories were told that a ghost lived there. We started talking about this story and kidding. Theirs was 3 of us, by the way. My brother, my sister, and me. All kids. I am the youngest of them all. After staying there for a while, my sister and I dashed to entrance and closed it, not to let our brother leave the house. We told him that a ghost is going to come to him. but the he managed to open the door and set himself free. We played like this for some time, and suddenly they left me alone and were holding the fucking door and not opening. I swear to God, I was scared to death. I was panicked so hard, I lost my mind. I really lost my senses. I was pounding the door. I tried to open it, but they were laughing. I was so scared because on the bed, which was in that room with me, something invisible started literally jumping. I could hear these sound. OMG, damn it. No, I am 21, and I still remember that moment. It was 10 years ago. Answer 8. I have told this to people before and always get the same response, but I ran through a wall once as a kid. It was at my grandparents' house around 93 to 94. They had this massive ranch house with a breezeway and an attached garage, and the house was basically a giant rectangle. I was playing tag with my cousins in the back rooms, directly behind the living room where there was no door to get into it from the back side of the house. Well, I was tagged and took my time counting to give people space to run from me, and then took off after my little cousin. I remember he was right in front of me, but jumped out of the way at the last second before running into the wall, except I wasn't able to stop and ran right through the wall and into the living room where my now deceased grandma was sitting. I didn't make a hole or anything in the wall. There was literally no proof I had appeared there. But my cousins all were confused as to where I had went, and my grandma could not believe what she saw but kept laughing about how insane it was. Not a single person in my family believes me, and my grandma unfortunately passed away not long after this happened. Answer 9. When I was 5 or 6, I had some dental work and the NO2 gave me an out-of-body experience. I hung out with the Kit Kat clock on the wall and watched myself getting a filling. When the dentist talked to me, I snapped back into my body. When he was done, I went back to the cat clock and hung with my pal. Someone answered, "You died and came back." I had the same out-of-body experience when I was a child. I fell from a swing onto a rock and split my head open. I was rushed to the hospital. As they were doing my surgery, my body floated up to the corner of the ceiling. I watched as nuns with candles prayed. Catholic hospital. I wasn't scared, but wondered why I could see myself on the table. The nuns were praying feverishly in unison. Seemed like I was up there for a while.
That was enough for today, cosmonaut. I'll wait for you in the next travel.